so excited to have y'all here today. We just want to thank everybody for coming out. Can y'all first give yourselves a round of applause for being here? I was looking, I should introduce myself, I'm Christy Marquis.
And I'm Sophia Saeed.
And I emailed Sophia last night
At 6:30 p.m.
And we kind of emailed back and forth over dinner, figuring out, could there be a rally? And we decided that if we did it together, we thought we could.
And at 10:30 p.m. we decided, well, I was very exhausted and I told Christy, this thing is going to go on and on and on. I cannot do anything. And then I was like, no, we cannot stay silent. If we stay silent, if we don't speak up tonight, then when? So at 10:30 p.m. we decided, no, we have to do something. And here we are.
We had a lot of trust. We trusted our friends and neighbors and colleagues in the Little Rock community. We knew that y'all would come out, and you did. And we know that this is sending a message to our Muslim brothers and sisters that they are wanted and included and belong here.
You all know why we are here. Our president signed an executive order on Friday barring all refugees from entering the United States for next 120 years. And specific days, 120 days. That's right, yeah. And specifically Syrian refugees indefinitely, not to mention those 7 countries who are deeply, deeply affected. And we have friends here in Little Rock who live with us, who talk and eat and drink with us, who have families stuck in those 7 countries, not able to come back just because of this order. So that's why we are here. We have a long list of speakers who are going to speak very quickly, 1 to 2 minutes each, because they all have something really important to share with you. So please stay with us. And I'm going to start with Director Kathy Ware.
Like you, many of us have very heavy hearts. But when I went to church this morning and looked at our prayer for the day, I had great clarity. And I want to just read a couple of the lines from the prayer. Mighty God, stay with us always as we share the risk and challenge of living our faith. By your powerful spirit, turn our fear to courage and our confusion to confidence. So we come today for different individual reasons, but we are bound together by shared humanity and our desire to stand publicly with our Muslim neighbors. In Little Rock, in airports, in refugee camps across this world. We will not replace compassion and inclusiveness with hate. We will not.
Hannibal.
Absolutely. I'm Annabelle Imber-Tuck, and I am here standing on the steps of the state capitol as a member of Congregation B'nai Israel to join with my brothers and sisters from many religious traditions in expressing our opposition to President Trump's executive order barring entry to the United States for refugees, immigrants, and others from several majority Muslim countries. I want to read you a statement made by the Reform Congregations of the United States. The Reform movement denounces in the strongest terms the horrifying executive order on immigration and refugees issued late Friday evening by President Trump. The order signed yesterday is even worse than feared, barring entry of all Syrian refugees, imposing in essence a religious test for entry to the United States, and refusing entry to any individual coming from a list of majority Muslim nations, betraying even those individuals who have supported our nation's military efforts in Iraq, Afghanistan, and elsewhere. Families are now being held apart, and countless individuals who have served our nation in the most difficult circumstances are in jeopardy. The reports of families separated at our nation's airports are gut-wrenching. As Jews, we know the impact that xenophobia and religious profiling have on all peoples whose lives are endangered by exclusionary laws. We have not forgotten our charge from Leviticus chapter 19. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not wrong him. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. On President Trump to rescind his abhorrent executive order. Every member of Congress must denounce its provisions, including the imposition of a religious test for entry, and urge its immediate repeal. Every American citizen must take every possible action to oppose this violation of Americans' greatness. I ask all Arkansans of every faith, to call each and every member of the Arkansas congressional delegation and urge them to immediately take action and repeal this executive order that is nothing less than a complete repudiation of the words that appear on the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the goal.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Yasmin, are you here? So here's Yasmin. She's from Palestine and her husband is from Yemen. Let's hear her story.
I will try to be quick, but I wrote what I needed to say. I am here today with thanks not only for your support, but for your integrity and courage. I'm here today to tell you to please don't let this rally be your last step. We have met in unity, and thousands are gathering in unity all around the US to support not just the immigration ban and not just Muslims, but to support diversity, freedom, and above all, humanity. standing here today not as a Muslim, not as an immigrant, not as a certain color or creed, but I stand here today as an American. A proud American. I also stand here today proudly and courageously for my husband. My husband, who is a hard-working, loving, and kind man. The kind of man you'd want your son or your father to be. A man who is steadfast in his religion and loves God. But also a man who loves the opportunity he has been given in this country. My husband came here 5 years ago as a student. He came here with a desire to learn, to prosper, and to take care of his family back home. My husband is a law-abiding citizen of America who was given his green card merely months ago after a long 1.5-year vetting process. We framed his acceptance letter as soon as we got it. And at the top of the letter, it states, "Congratulations from the United States of America." The only crime my husband has ever committed was being born. Born with a blue passport with elegant Arabic writing at the top that says Republic of Yemen. My husband came here at 18 years old. He hasn't seen his mother, his father, his brothers, or his sisters in 5 years. His youngest brother was merely a few months old and now is entering his first year of school. As my husband watches his brother grow on Skype and watches the tears fall from his mother's face, he realizes there is nothing he can do. Please look around you today and see how many hundreds of people you are standing with that may have a different religion than you or no religion at all, that have come together to stand for what is right. These immigrants that are being kept from seeing their families and friends, from being kept from completing their education, whether coming back to the US or from the US back home, have gone through more than a rigorous vetting process. This is not a day or two or even a month or two. This is a process that takes years, and for many, it's life or death. And for all of their only crime was to have born outside of the United States. I will leave you with this. Oh, you believers, be dutiful to God and bearers of just witness. Do not allow your dislike for other people to turn you away from justice. Deal justly. It is closer to piety. Have fear of only God, and God is always aware of what you do. Thank you.
Safia, can we have you here? Safia is an American Muslim, a lawyer, and a proud Arkansan.
Thank you, Sophia. Like she said, my name is Sophia Gori Ahmed, and I was born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas. I am a proud graduate of Little Rock Central High. Woo! Go Tigers! And the University of Arkansas. I am an American. I am a Muslim. I am a lawyer, and I am a patriot. This year marks the 50th anniversary of my parents' arrival to this country. They came to America for a better life because they knew of the opportunities this country offers. They raised 4 daughters who love this country and call America home. As one of those daughters, I am here to remind you of the values that my parents have instilled in us. That we are a nation of hope in the face of challenges, not cowardice. From the Civil War to civil rights, we confront the ugliest aspects of humanity and show a better way. What we are doing here today continues in that same tradition. We are Americans. We stand up for what is right, even if it doesn't apply to us. Our American tradition is to lead, and if our leaders won't, we will. Many of the people who overnight are being turned away at our borders are legal permanent residents of our country. They follow the rules. They live here. They own homes here. And they are being turned away from their own homes because they are from Muslim countries. These people are doctors. They are lawyers. They're nurses. They're PhDs. They're teachers. They're soldiers, and they are heroes. So what do we do now? We do the American thing. We open our hearts and we welcome immigrants, including Muslims, just like my father was welcomed here 50 years ago. But whatever we do, we will not lose hope. Hope is what this country was built on. This is why people like my parents made America home. This is why others will continue to follow in his footsteps. And this, my friends, is why we will win.
My name is Ayman Al-Shami. I am a Syrian American doctor. I came to America when I was 25 years old, looking for opportunity that was not available to me in Syria. Now, Syrians don't have any of this opportunity anymore. The Syrian conflict has heavily affected my family and me. My brother was killed by a sniper in his way to prayer. And my sister was forced to leave her home under shelling and bombing happening around her. People like them, people like me, are just looking for safety. All different kinds of weapons, including barrel bombs and chemical weapons, are used against the Syrian civilians, beside all kinds of torture. They do not want to live in fear under the corrupt government of Syria. Over 1 million people have been killed in the conflict, and over 12 million people have been displaced internally and externally. Many people have drowned in the sea trying to seek safety in Europe. What President Trump has done to these kinds of people is not what America was founded on. The US has always been a place of refuge. This decision has affected millions of American citizens and permanent residents that are just like me. They are just looking for safety and refuge. We should not turn our back on our fellow global citizens. We did this once before, and it resulted in the mass torture and execution of a religious group in particular, the Holocaust. We cannot discriminate based on color, ethnicity, or religion. United we stand, but divided we will fall.
I'm not introducing the speaker, so if you all will start with your name and who you are.
My name is Rita Sklar, and I'm the Executive Director of the ACLU of Arkansas. Thank you. I'm supposed to be the strong one, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. In 24 hours since President Trump's executive order, ACLU attorneys have been working nonstop. Last night we received in getting a stay on the president's executive order, and the DHS has been ordered not to stop any more people as a result of that executive order who are from those nations, who are legal residents of this country. But we need your help because it continues to go on. We need you to tell us if you know of anyone who is being detained, turned back. If it is happening in a particular state, they need to call the ACLU office in that state. If they have a way to contact a private attorney, by all means do that. I cannot make promises that we can represent everyone, but we want to know about what's happening. And in this state, I'm asking you to go to our website at acluarkansas.org and file a complaint online. We will read it, and we will do what we can. We want you to be the eyes and ears and tell us these stories. We need to bring them to court. I came to tell you that democracy looks like this, but it also looks like contacting your representatives and telling them this is not what you want. No matter what you think their response will be, you have to tell them and tell them and tell them again. I am the granddaughter of immigrants, of Russian Jewish immigrants. And we are all immigrants. And today, and until the end of this struggle, I am a Muslim with all of you.
This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
My name is Rasha Al-Zahabi. This is the first time I address a gathering like this. But I think we can all agree that the time has come where we must all speak up. I can no longer remain in my comfort zone. I must speak up for the America I know and love. And indeed, yesterday, at the end of an extremely difficult week, we saw exactly that happening in airports across the country. Americans of all religious backgrounds, ethnicities, and races were speaking up and against what was taking place. Permanent legal residents who were returning home to their spouses, to their children, and to their job were detained for hours and not allowed to speak to their attorneys. Refugees who had gone through a 2-year vetting process and sold everything they owned to come to America were held and threatened with deportation. Professionals returning to their homes and jobs were given a choice: relinquish your visa and return to the country you were visiting, or be forcibly removed. It was too late for one Cleveland Clinic physician with a Sudanese passport and numerous others, but we must speak up to make sure others do not see their fate. The protesters greeted the few travelers who did make it in with welcoming chants and songs. Watching them brought tears to my eyes and gave me hope that we will overcome this trying time in our history and come out stronger and even more united as we have in the past, but it will not be easy. I stand before you today a direct result of the immigration policies the president wishes to change. I was born and bred in the United States, but like others, I am a first generation American. My father came to the U.S. as a Syrian immigrant in 1983. He left behind everything he knew to come to America, as described by a speaker more eloquent than me, President Barack Obama, a magical place. America that's shown as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before him. Another immigrant that close to my heart who came into the U.S. was my husband. Again, he arrived with big dreams, leaving everything he had known behind, and he went on to specialize in cardiology, and he has spent the last 3.5 years working at the VA hospital, proudly serving our veteran population. When my father and husband arrived, they had big dreams. Our dreams live on in my 4 girls, the daughters of a Syrian immigrant and the granddaughters of another. I will always teach them that with hard work and perseverance, they can make a difference and they can achieve their dreams, the American dream. Thank you all for coming out today, and God bless you all.
Hello, my name is Clark Tucker. I'm a state representative here in Arkansas. I want to take one moment just to recognize our other elected officials who are here. You've heard from City Director Kathy Webb already. Standing here, Senator Joyce Elliott. We have Representative Warwick Saban right here. We have former Governor Jim Guy Tucker. We have Judge Wendell Griffin standing right here. And I've seen Senator Will Bond standing right over here. If I missed you, I apologize, but I want you to know that you do have elected officials here in Arkansas who stand with you. I just want to start by saying thank you, because there is nothing more important in America today than letting our government know that when they take actions like they took on Friday, that they do not speak for us. We know to start that what President Trump did was against the law, and that's already been affirmed in multiple courts throughout the United States of America. But that's the first, as we all know, is the cruel and incalculable human suffering taking place around the world in the last 48 hours and in the days and months to come because of the actions of our president. And like Director Webb, at church this morning, I found some comfort in our gospel, and there were some words there that I know many here have heard before. And those were, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are those who are merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are those who are pure in spirit, for they shall see God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." I think about those words from Jesus Christ, and I pray for every person in the world, regardless of faith and ethnicity, who's suffering today because of the actions taking place on Friday. The other part that's even worse is not that this action breaks the law, but that it breaks faith with the American spirit. Part of the executive order read, "The United States must ensure that those who enter our country do not bear hostile attitudes toward it or its founding principles." Well, I read those words and I think about our founding principles. I think about the words emblazoned at the Statue of Liberty that Justice Tuck already read. I read the words that we all know, that are the first few lines of the document declaring our independence from tyranny. That every human on this earth is endowed with certain inalienable rights, and among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. that these rights are not endowed by anyone on this earth, no matter where you live or how powerful you may be. They are endowed by our Creator. I think about our founding principles, and that's why I say to you, Mr. President, that your executive order bears hostile attitudes to our nation and its founding principles. Now, immigration is an issue that inflames passions, and that's okay, but when it comes to this issue here in America, there's something we have to remember, and that is that with all the dividing lines that exist in the world, and all the groups of us and them that exist here at home, when it comes to immigration, unless you're a Native American, there is no us and them. We are all them. Even though my family may have been here for hundreds of years, not too long ago in the grand scheme of things, my forefathers and foremothers got on a boat to come to the shores of this great nation, yearning to breathe free. And they knew then what freedom-loving people all over the world stranded in airports know today, and that is that the American dream is not restricted to people born in America. That if you love this nation, you are a patriot no matter where you were born. That no matter where you live, in a peaceful or war-torn country or everywhere in between, we are all children of God. And that as far as this country is concerned, everyone nearly who has made this country great, we are all immigrants. Thank you very much.
I'm Joyce Elliott. I am one of your state senators, and I am one who's proud to stand today with all Americans. My own ancestry is at the forefront of my thoughts today. I want us to think about something that we need to be very careful about. There is one America. But one America is based on a whole lot of history. Do not forget that in the very DNA of this country is the separation of families who look like mine. Do not forget that. We are a great country, but don't act as if we don't have a history of doing this. That's important because lest you forget, you will be surprised about people who do the kind of things that Donald Trump just did. We deserve not to allow ourselves to be surprised. It is very true that I've been working with especially families who are Latino, whose families have been broken apart. And here we come today. We are pulling apart Muslim families. One of the reasons this can happen is that we forget to pay attention to what has built this movement of the alt-right and those who think that some people should be marginalized. Let us remember, there is a sign right over there that says if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. As you applaud, you had better mean it, because this is going to be a way of life. I know what it feels like not to be wanted in my own country. I know what that feels like. I can understand how families felt arriving on our shores last night and not be wanted. To not be wanted is a terrible thing because we're all human beings. We must commit, not to today, commit to knowing the foundation of our country, commit to knowing what we're capable of doing, and more importantly, commit to making sure that sign is true, that when you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Somebody mentioned earlier about getting out of the comfort zone, there is no more comfort zone. We have to be ready to go to work every single day and say to Donald Trump, you may close your golden doors on the Trump Towers, but the golden doors to America will always be open, and we shall make it so.